I thank the speaker very much. I rise this morning to engage in a limited but hopefully important discussion about America's history and to encourage my colleagues for collaboration. It is in reference to H.R. 40, the Commission to Study Slavery and Develop Reparation Proposals. I stand on the perspective of how important it is for us to engage in dialogue. We're hearing across America that Americans are frightened about the discussion of our differences. This land was first held by the indigenous people, Native Americans. Every other group came to America. Whether or not you're of European heritage, Hispanic heritage, Asian Pacific, Southeast Asian, or whether you are African heritage. As a descendant of enslaved Africans, we are the only group that came as slaves to this country and held in bondage for over 200 years. Now, you have not seen African Americans refuse their patriotism, refuse to serve. We have served in every war since the Revolutionary War. You've never seen African Americans not shed or refuse to shed blood for the freedom of this country or to wear the uniform. You've not seen us shy away from serving as firefighters and law enforcement, teachers, business persons, social justice leaders such as Dr. King, John Lewis, and yes, Malcolm X. You've not seen us as women, Rosa Parks, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Coretta Scott King, stand away from the fight. We have embraced freedom, justice, and equality. You did not see us attack this most solid and somber institution, sacred, on January 6, 2021. We were not the masses that were trying to undermine democracy. In fact, in this last election, I stood on the premise of defending democracy, and I take no back seat to my love of this nation. And so I ask my colleagues, why do you in any way doubt the value and importance of H.R. 40? The purpose is to acknowledge the fundamental injustice and inhumanity of slavery in the United States and to establish a commission to study and consider a national apology and proposal for reparations for the institution of slavery. It was based on the premise of racism. There was, in fact, no compensation, no life insurance, no salaries, and slaves were born, they lived and died in slavery, never seeing freedom. They worked from sunup and beyond, and they worked until they fell dead in the fields. They built this nation. They built the United States Capitol. They built the White House. They, in fact, created an economic engine by making cotton king, and they created an economic engine by this transatlantic slave trade. The traders decided to stop trading spices and gold and to use the human beings that they marched for 300 miles to weaken the slaves so they would not have a fight before getting on those ships. Many dropped into the watery grave before they got on. Many died in the dark passage. But yet, here we are today. And so this is not a pointing the finger. This is not accusatory. This is, in fact, a reconciliation. I insist that we establish this commission, and we must establish it by a vote or establish it by executive order. Reverend Mark Thompson said, a political activist for social justice, said, if we were granted H.R. 40 by executive order, it would be America once and for all saying black lives actually do matter and this nation must be repaired. It is restoration and repair, but it stands on the basis of facts. There is no doubt that we have been impacted, that DNA in the trajectory of slavery to today. For example, at COVID, black African Americans got COVID at a rate nearly 1.5 times higher than that of white people, or hospitalized at a rate nearly 4 times higher and 3 times likely to die. COVID hit us very desperately. Interestingly, a recent peer-reviewed study from Harvard Medical School suggests that reparations for African Americans could have cut COVID-19 transmission and infection rates both among blacks and the population at large. Reparations are curative. They're not punishment. The analysis continued to look at data throughout the nation. And so as we move in this lame duck session, it is important that we come together for reconciliation, restoration, and provide the commission to study slavery and to develop reparation proposals. I thank my colleagues for their support, and I believe together we make America strong, America free, and America just, and America equal. With that, I yield back my time.